Okay, hello 7 Coast Guarders, this is Captain Achilles. I'm going to demonstrate another video for the RB-45. This video basically is about navigation and how to travel and find your way through the Blake Sea to get to your destination. I'm going to also explain to you which directions and how you should position the boat to make sure you have a proper way of entering a server, which is called Sims, so your system can be better to accept everything that you're bringing into the new server, which is a sim. Okay, the first thing, the demonstration I'm going to explain to you guys is how to properly sit in the RB-45. Remember, the first passenger that boards the boat is the person that basically will be driving the boat. Okay, so I'm going to do is right click on the boat. As far as me being the pilot, the pilot is the first person to board the boat. As you see board, you touch board. Okay. Now, once all your passengers are in, you want to make sure you close the door by left clicking on the door. Now, before you take off, you must set your settings. Always be conscious about your settings. Always. Never take off. Always make sure whoever is the pilot is checking the individuals that are in the same kilometer that you're in. The RB-45 is not a big space, so therefore, everyone that's in this boat is basically sharing the same computer. Okay, you're basically sharing the same computer. But remember, make sure your scripts, everybody's script is zeroed or whatever your vest allows you. And I think the vests are now 1 to 2 scripts, and that's it. You have to be conscious about that always. If not, you're not going to be successful in taking the boat out and returning back to base. Now, the first thing that I like to do, first of all, I like to check my preferences. Okay, look over my preferences. One of the biggest things that cause lag and give you a low FPS, that's frames per second. That is what is most important, that is needed to do what you want to do when it comes to vehicles in Second Life. Shaders, you want to make sure transparent shade water is off. Okay, you want to make sure bump mapping is off, and local lights. Once that's done, go over to your draw distance. Okay, make sure you get draw distance down to possibly, I say as a driver, maybe 256 meters. Okay, particles zeroed all the way down. All right, now max complexity is no limit. The reason why you want max complexity is no limit, because when you have someone around you and they're resident in and out, that causes lag. So also, now we look at non-imposter avatars. Basically, I would put it down to whoever, how many people that's on board with me. So let's say 3. Okay. If you look at all my other settings, that's basically what I use my settings for preferences in graphics. Now, what you want to do now, if you want to save this, that would probably be the best thing to do, is save it. Now, when you save it, this is what happens. You have the options of naming it. Okay, so right now I'm gonna name it test. But for you, I would think you probably want to put it for as your 7 Coast Guard RB-45 boat patrol. Once you do it, you save it. Okay, then you go and hit OK. Now, second thing you want to do, this is very important, especially those who have low FPS, those who have low they use Wi-Fi. You want to go to your advanced tab. Okay, you'll go to Advanced tab, and you want to look at Rendering Types. Once you get Rendering Types, you want to slide over and make sure you click this double line. Make sure you take bump, particles, clouds, grass, trees, and basically that's it. Now, this is not set in your preferences, graphics, settings, save settings. It doesn't set. You have to do this every time you get in the boat. You have to remember to do this. I will make you some type of note card that gives you a link that you can use this before you go out. Open up the note card, and basically it's going to show you these settings in your rendering types. And once you're done with rendering types, you want to go back to advanced. Look for rendering features. Flexi objects causes lag. Test fry, fog, foot shadow, dynamic textures. As you see, my FPS is rising. Okay. You want to exit out. Now, the second thing you might want to do is have this have your quick preferences ready. Okay. See, my FPS is rising. It's still rising. All right. I don't really need quick preferences up, but you want to make sure you're aware that you have quick preferences as an option. And I get it. I'll explain that later on in the video. Now, next thing you want to do, you need to find where you're going. And I want you guys to watch the FPS when I pull up World Map. World Map. My FPS is dropping tremendously. Okay. So remember, whenever you need to use World Map, and you will need World Map if you're not familiar with the Blake or you're not familiar with the area that you patrol. Once you get familiar with the area you patrol, you basically can drive yourself straight to these certain points. You don't, meaning you still need a waypoint to find the victim. Okay, you still need a waypoint to find the victim. Once you get familiar with the Blake seed, you don't have to do several waypoints. Okay, you don't. But for now, beginners, use as many waypoints as you can, and I'm explaining how. All right, now I'm going to make up a place that I want to go to. Let's say, for instance, I have a victim out here somewhere. I'm gonna use this person here as a victim. I clicked on it, and that's my waypoint. Now, the way we develop waypoints is when we get emergencies, the dispatch is going to let you know the name of the sim, and what's the longitude, latitude, and elevation. Okay, you're going to need that, and also the victim's name. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my mouse and put it inside the world map, and I'm going to scroll it down. I see my victim, and I see where I'm located. Now, you might want to use different landmarks to see exactly where the bases are. These are my landmarks normally. And also notice this little round thing that tells me that's what the base is. Okay. Now, also look at my FPS now. So those who travel with your world map up, you should never ever do that. Never. I'm gonna take my world map down. Now I want you to watch the way my FPS rises. Okay, it's going up. It's at 93, 94, 96. I saw 96. So that lets you know that the world map drains your graphics. It drains your graphics big time, crazy. So as you've been taught before in basics, you want to use your radar. Now, radar, you can adjust radar by simply going through these arrows and pulling it down. Now, if you notice the numbers I have, I personally like to have mine at everyone that's in the 200s. So I have all the people in 200s, and I'm a local. Okay. Now I want to put my mouse back into my frames where my map is and roll my mouse to make things just a little bit bigger. So basically I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sims in front of me. Now I also want you guys to pay attention to something. I want you to look at the coloration of the blue, of this blue areas. Okay. You can see a faintly little line on each side of these Sims giving me a Sim line. Okay. Giving me a Sim line. Now once I've established where I need to go, I look at my direction. This is my direction. I would head in that direction. That's where my victim is. All right, everybody else is in the boat. Scripts are low. Everybody's dressed properly. I'm going to type S. We do not want to use HUDs in these vehicles. No HUDs. If you're using HUDs and you're crashing, that could be the reason why. So S, type in S, hit enter. Okay, now you can drive this boat without looking out the window. You can. Okay. This is what I do. I go to mouse look. Okay. And I can look up at the top of my ceiling and watch my FPS. My FPS goes a lot higher. I still can see radar. I still see my direction where I'm going. Okay. So I don't need to do any of that. So now once I do that, some have to come out of mouse look to put the throttle up. Also, you want to pay attention to the hover text. Hover text. Right, so I'm going to give me a little throttle. Okay, roll back. I want you to pay attention to something. See the line? Basically, I'm getting ready to approach. I want to go into that sim straight on. Okay. Look at my local indicators to let me know how fast I'm going. Take it up a little bit more. I'm going to. I'm basically gonna go into mouse look because that little jerk I didn't like. SL's not acting so good today. But if you have your settings, you should be perfectly fine. Once you look at my FPS, now watch the way I approach a sim. Okay, you notice I'm approaching the sim head on. Head on meaning that line is separating the water coloration. Because once you're in the sim, that sim is going to light up. It's going to give you a slight light. So you want to basically head into the sim straight up. This is straight up heading into a sim. Okay, I'm in it. Now I want to give myself a little more throttle. Now, if you notice the direction of the victim, okay. Now, what I want to do, basically, I'm gonna show you guys how to basically properly turn into a sim. I'm heading to that sim directly into that sim. I'm not going to the corners. Wait for me to pop in. I'm there. Now I'm gonna turn, and I want to go head up, straight up into the sim again. I want to keep my. Sometimes if I'm looking at my FPS is dropping, that's way more than enough of FPS to do this. Okay. Give it a little more speed. Okay, my FPS dropped some, so what I want to do is probably pull my camera up some to get my FPS back up. I don't even think you saw even anything jerk that time because my FPS is so high right now. Okay. Now I'm here where the victim is. I want to start slowing it down. Now I'm in a sim. Now I can pull out. Once you get in the sim, you're basically a lot more safer. My FPS is dropping, but I'm within this sim. In my experience, I have really never seen anyone just crash sitting in a sim. Okay, unless you really have a bad computer. All right, so now I'm here at the victim. You notice how I track the victim. Okay, I'm here. All right, now let's take a look at who it is anyway. I want to know who it is. Now you notice how his hair is all messed up because I took flexies off. All right, so we found out, we saw who it was. Let's head back. Now I'm gonna show you the incorrect way of driving on the sea, even flying. All right, now what I mean by going into a four sim corner, this is a four sim corner. Now if I crash, I'm still using this video. Okay. And the reason why I think that some of you don't see it because you're not using your radar. This is a big no-no. Let's pray that I don't fucking crash. Here we go. I'm heading to a four sim corner. I'm still not in the service, and I got a script error. That shows that I stressed the vehicle out big time. All right, but I'm still in. I think I'm still in. No, I'm not. It's exactly what I want you guys to see. All right, I crashed. I crashed. Even with that high FPS, I crashed. Those are things you don't want to do. I'm still going through a whole bunch of crap now. I'm crashed. Even with my high computer, even with the decent computer I have, it doesn't work. You can't do it. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and in this video and in the class, you're gonna actually see a lot of things on my props that's gonna explain to you how and what not to do. All right, this concludes my video, and I hope this helped out anybody to understand how things work. See you in the class.